Okay, so standing up nice and tall, pull the tummy in, just spread the toes, lengthen through the spine, roll the shoulders up, back and down. So as you're doing that, can you breathe in to lift and breathe out to lower? Breathe in to lift and breathe out to lower. One more time, breathe in to lift and breathe out to lower. Soften the hands down and let's just move to side bend. Now this is from the waist upwards. So hips are completely still. Stabilize them by pulling the belly button in, softening down the knees and tucking the tail under. Just relaxing into it. Reaching away with the bottom arm if you can. Breathing in to reach. Breathing out to come back. One more. Brill. Let's grip the pelvis. Soften the knees. Start to move through pelvic tilt. So drawing the belly button in towards the backbone. Softening down the tailbone. Good. Everything else is still. Upper body fixed. Lower body moving. Couple more. And then just settle at your own halfway point between front and back. Standing tall now, pulling up through the legs. Sway the weight forward and back. If that's okay, we spread the toes and we rise up. Arms can come up over the head, or they might just come to chest height, depending on how the shoulders and the back is feeling. Watch as you come to the top that you don't then rock through the ankles. So pushing the big toe into the floor. We're going to keep this moving. If it feels okay, try it in a split stance, not too wide. If that's not right for you, stay with your feet side by side. Breathing out to lift and in to lower. One more. Change feet. Again, not too wide. Breathing out to lift and in to lower. Next one is your last one. Coming down. Good. Giving everything a shaker. And then nice big relaxed rotation. Good. Let's keep the feet in a wider stance now. Tuck the tail, soften the knees, switch on the glutes, hands on shoulders, breathing in. Breathing out, rotating to the right front corner. So not too far, head stays in line. Coming back, going the other way. Now, make sure you're leading with the shoulders. Fix the hips if you can. Let the hips go if not. Relax, give it all a shake. Okay, so coming into waiter, if you can split your stance or come to tightrope, go there. If you need to be feet apart, that's okay. Palms up, shoulders down, squeeze the glutes, breathe in, breathe out and draw the scapulars together there. Good. So our focus is on drawing the shoulder blades together. Making sure the weight's not all in the back or the front leg. Get the weight even. Draw the belly button in. Keep the knees soft. One more time. And relax. Give them a shake. Change feet if you can, wide or toe to heel. Little bit more challenging. Can we circle the right arm? Turn. That's where you'll have a little wobble. And come down. Other side. Any shoulder issues, please just do this with your hand on your shoulder. So it's quite a relaxed rotation through the shoulders, turning the head and neck, turning the upper back. The shoulders, the hips should be automatically still in that position. 2 more. And last one. And relax. Give it all a shake. Breath. Fingers to temples. Heels together, toes turned out if you can. Otherwise, toes forward but quite close. Lengthen up. Over to the corner of the ceiling. Now this is a lengthening feeling, not a drop. Come on up. Squeeze the muscles in the bum. So we want to be moving from the waist if there is a hip or back issue. But if you can push your pelvis over to one side now, let it go. That might be tight, it might be painful. If it's tight, it needs to stretch. But if there's pain, hips are still. Last one. And come down. Brill. Just shake that off. We're going to come to ankle mobility and balance now. So hold on if you need to. Take the right leg in front, pull the tummy in and lift. Flex and point the foot. Can we flex and point the wrist? Rotate. Other way. And relax. Left foot forward and lift. Flex and point. Rotate. Other way. And relax. Give everything a good shake there. Good. Let's go hands behind the back for hip hinge. Feet parallel. Tummy in. The knees stay soft here. When you're ready, we tip from the hips. So draw the shoulder blades together so that the chest is open. Coming just to your own safe range. And then coming back up slowly. So ideally you want to go far enough to feel your hamstrings stretch. If that places too much load on the lower back, go less. Maybe bend your knees more. So more hip, a bit more challenging on the hamstring and back. More knee, a bit more challenging on the quads. Let me do one more here. Just breathing steadily, maintaining the shoulders and the spine. Release the hands. Release the shoulders, coming into squat. Hip hinge, knee bend. So you want ideally your hands to just be tracking down in the same direction as you sit back. And then if everything's okay, you can float your arms. Be mindful of your knee alignment. Knees over ankles. So hips moving back, not knees pushing forward. If that feels okay, we're going to add a heel float on the way down. We're going to pulse. So pulse with one heel up or both heels down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Lift the other heel if you can. Zip up the abs. Come on down and pulse. Now you can pulse with your heel down or you can pulse with your hand on your thighs. 3, 2, 1. Heel down as we come up. 2 more sets. Coming down, lifting the heel. Pulsing. Push back up. Last one. Lifting the left heel or keeping both heels on the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on up. Real. Give those legs a shake. And just rotate there for me. So we're going to pick up our weights now, please. Let's start coming to the shoulders and upper spine. So my weights are on my thighs. My knees are soft. My tail is tucked under. Just going to start by rotating through the shoulders. Squeezing them together at the back. And then bringing the weights round to the front. So this is our dart, but this time with weights. Good. So feeling that you are moving around the thighs with the weight. Shoulders coming through extension and flexion. Guys, if that feels okay, flexion through the neck and upper back, extension through the neck and upper back. Now, if you would rather just work through your shoulders, that's fine. But if you can start to move through the neck and spine, please go there. 2 more. One more. And relax. Release your shoulders. Good. Feet parallel. We go hammer curl. So slowly curling. Then if you can, move your weight onto your right foot. And your left toe can be on or off the floor. So you can stay here with a bicep curl, and if you feel confident, you can add that shoulder press. So this is obviously, it's about working the arms and the shoulders, but it's also about challenging your balance and your core stability. So watch this hip, squeeze, pull in, toe can stay on the floor if you need it to. Breathing out on the shoulder press. Breathing in on the drop. 2 more. And 1 more. Good. Come on down. Let's have deadlift here just to release the legs. So slide down slowly with a flat back and bent knees. Squeeze the glutes to come up. Hips and back should be a little bit warmer, so if you can go further, go further. Two more here. Breathing in on the way down. Breathing out on the way up. And last one. Make sure you're leading with your chest and your head stays lifted. Come on up. Transfer the weight to the left foot. Shift the weight. Start with a curl with the toe on the floor. Squeeze the left buttock. Lift the foot if you can. And if you're ready to go into that shoulder press, let's go shoulder press. Just maintaining a nice, steady breathing pattern as we go. Focusing on something in the distance. thinking about stabilizing the pelvis. Good. Two more. So our last one. Good. Coming back to deadlift. So hinging from the hip. If you'd rather make this a squat, that's okay. Tuck the tail. So whichever one you're doing, head is lifted, chest is leading. Just two more, then we'll think about coming to the floor. Last one. Brill. Get rid of the weight. So let's have a look at roll down. So when you're ready, guys, feet under hips, tummy pulled in. So we've already done a bit of extension and flexion for the upper back, so hopefully it's warm. Up into a V. Little bit of extension by lifting the rib cage and looking to the ceiling. Breathe in. Breathe out, arms come down. Chin to chest. Round the shoulders, open between the shoulder blades and roll to the bottom rib. Your knees need to be bent so that your tail is tucked. Give your arms a sway. Breathe in. Breathe out, roll up slowly. Up into extension. Down into flexion. Breathing steadily. So now I'm going to roll till my hands are about shin height. You can put your hands on your legs if you need to. I want you to feel like you're stretching across the middle of the lower back. So not all the way. Arms relaxed and sway. Breathe in. Breathe out, roll up. So you can move at your own pace here if you wish. I'm going to try and go all the way down this time. I do still want to feel the traction on my spine. So that can be arms hanging, or sometimes feels good to hold your elbows. Give your arms a sway, give your body a sway. And from there you can roll up if you wish, or you can come forward into downward dog. So stretching through the hamstrings and the shoulders. Bringing the shoulders together. If you're happy just with roll down, that's super, stay there. If you're ready to come to a plank, that can be on your hands or elbows. It can be on your knees or toes. Into press up, toes or knees. Narrow for tricep, wide for chest. So now we're just working at our own pace. Got extension and flexion of the spine, extension of the shoulders, lengthening through the hamstrings, strength for the core, the upper body, the shoulders. So you keep moving slowly. Nice steady breaths as we move. Maybe just spend a couple of breaths in each position. We'll do a couple more if we can. However, if you are ready to come to the floor, just tip your screen, come down and give me cat stretch. So whichever exercise you're doing, you're continuing to mobilise your spine. So once you're ready to come to all fours, join me for cat stretch. Flexion and extension. Full length of the spine if you can. Making sure you've got body weight in your arms and your legs. Also making sure that your spine is moving but your arms and legs are not. This is our last one. We're going to settle the spine in neutral, tabletop back. And we are going to go Superman. So let's start with right arm, left leg, reaching forwards. And then lifting if you can. So perhaps just start with singles, moving from right to left. Now see how that feels. We're trying to challenge the balance and build the strength. But if there's pain, you can keep your arm and leg low. You might want to take your arm to the side. That might feel better on your back or your shoulders. So leg is going to the back and it's lifting or stretching. Arm is going to the front or side, depending on how you're feeling around the shoulders. When you come back to your right arm once again, can you stay there and let's start to build the strength. So once we've got the technique, we're working on strength. 4 on the right and 4 on the left. Not placing the hand or the knee down until we get to number 4. Trying to minimize the movement through the spine as we change sides. Think about your posture. Is your head in line with your spine? Lengthening through the back of the neck. Breathing out to stretch and lift. Good. Keeping it slow and controlled. All the time pulling the belly button in. We want the hips to stay square to the mat. So we're going to go for 1 or 2 more sets on either side. I want you to finish with 4 on your left arm. So keep moving until you've done a final set of 4 on the left arm. Once you've finished on your left arm, can you cat stretch or shell stretch? So finishing off the set and then releasing the spine, the hips, maybe the wrists, maybe the shoulders, and just taking some breaths where you are. Hands coming to side of knees, supporting the body weight and uncurling. Guys, we're going to do an exercise in kneeling. So you can do it on your mat, you can do it on your cushion, or you can do it on your hug. So if you're on the floor, just relax the feet. If you're on the hug, you might want to tuck your toes under. See how you feel. Make sure your pelvis is in neutral and your tummy is pulled in. Fingertips together. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, leave the hands where they are and hinge from the knees. And come up. Now, ideally, we don't want the hips to hinge. But if you're struggling, hinge your hips and come up. If you can just move from the knees, better. Can we add a bow and arrow? So hand to hip, turn the head. Working into the quadriceps. Working the balance. Challenging the core and the stability. Make sure your shoulder is down. Don't have your hand up high. Down low. Got 2 to go. Breathing out as you pull. Breathing in as you come up. Last one. and relax. Brill. Hands come down, come off the back. And again, just maybe a pelvic tilt or a shell stretch, whatever feels good. Can we uncurl the spine? And then come down onto your bum, please. So have your tube ball nearby to support your back. If you need something stronger, maybe a hug or a cushion. I'm going to set myself up with my weights either side. I'm not going to use them just yet. So have everything you need, save you getting back up. And then dig your heels in. Line yourself up with some ball support if you want it. Lengthen up onto the sit bones, breathing in. Breathing out, pelvic tilting under, landing on whatever you're using for support there. Rolling forward, lengthening up if you can. Now, depending on how that felt, if it was too hard or too easy, then adjust what's behind you. If mine feels a little bit easy, I'm going to take my ball further away. Sometimes just depends how much air you've got in it. Let's go bow and arrow again. Please make sure you get the pelvic tilt. That's the most important part of the exercise. It's the pelvic tilt that will switch on your lower abdominals. We tuck and squeeze. So take rest if you need it. Keep moving if you can. I'm going to add one dumbbell in two hands. And I'm just going to continue with the single rotations. Option to build up to 4. Make sure when you rotate, it's not just your arms. You need to turn the spine. So it's actually better if you turn with your elbows tucked in, then your shoulders will move and your waist will switch on. Breathing in to push. Breathing out to rotate. Maximum of 4. Next set is your last set, and then we get rid of the weight, we come wide and we slump stretch. So stretching into the lower back, but breathing into the back of the rib cage. Just keep that moving for me. Just going to take this music down a little bit. Uncurl your spine, please. And then coming down onto the back with some head support if you need it. I'm going to go with a block. You might be cushion, ball. Come on down. Let's put the feet and knees together. Make sure your dumbbells are not in the way of hip roll. Arms out, palms up. Shoulders pinned down. Rocking the knees slowly to the right and left. Now this is just going to be led by how you feel around the lower back and the hips. And then obviously also through the chest, because we do feel it across the chest if we're tight round there. And so if that feels like what you need, that's where you're going. If you want to get more into the back, pick the knees up. Hold the shins or the back of the thighs and draw a circle. So, knees are rolling or pelvis is circling. Good. From here, let's hold with the knees in. Single leg stretch, either high or low, or bent knee toe tap to the floor is a bit kinder on the back. So bent knee or straight leg. You can hold your leg, lift your head and shoulders. You might want to take the weight of your head and neck. Make sure your spine is imprinted. You may be able to add rotation to the bent knee. Or you might want to pull on the leg to help you get height off the floor. So just play about with this. We're working the transverse abdominals. So different than when we were in seated, we're working rectus abdominals. You got 3 or 4 sets running around there. We need to work them all. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on in. Feet down. Can we stretch the legs away and just allow the hips to stretch? Your pelvis will tilt. That will mean your back will arch and your ribs will lift, and that's where we want to be. Arms overhead if we can. And we're just breathing here. So we're in spinal extension, but it shouldn't hurt because the mat should be supporting you. Take some breath. Bring your arms over, please. And bend your knees. Now, if you want to hip roll again with your feet together, go there. If you're happy hip rolling with your feet wide apart, go there. So when your feet are apart, one leg rotating through the center. When your feet are together, more about the back. Breathing in to drop. Breathing out to lift. Good. Just one more time. Coming back to center. Tricep. Pick up your weights, please. Push them to the ceiling. Bring your spine in neutral with your feet hip distance apart, or start in tabletop with your spine imprinted. Press the shoulders into the mat. Let's go with a single tricep, right and left, isolating the shoulder, moving from the elbow. Double tricep if you wish. Options for legs. A toe tap with a bent knee. Or a knee lift from the floor. A straight leg stretch away with your other foot up or down. Low leg is harder. High leg, bit kinder on the back. If you're happy just focusing on your triceps, just think about engaging the abs, breathing out to push, having a look where your elbows are. Are they pointing to the ceiling or have they dropped? If they've dropped, you're working from your shoulders, not your triceps. So we've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on in and down. Get rid of those weights, please. Let's have a starfish stretch if we can. 4 corners. Open your palms and stretch your fingers. Push your heels away and pull your toes back. Feeling all that connected fascia that wraps around the muscles stretching. From there, just take some breaths. Maybe give your fingers and toes a bit of a wiggle. And then bring your arms back and bring your legs back. Super. Coming on to the right side, or any side of the body, please. Hog under the head. So we're on the hip if we can. If you need some padding, get some padding. Head on the hog. Guys, the options for your legs. Bend your bottom leg under, that's a bit kinder on your hip. 2 straight legs is harder. Palms together. Take a breath in. Hips are stacked. As you breathe out, lift one arm, one leg. This is not about height, this is about loading the muscles through the waist. Option to bend your bottom leg if you need more support. Option to lift 2 straight legs if you want to add more load to the waist. Your other option is to lift your head and neck. So by lifting the head and all the legs, we can add resistance to the waist. Remember, this is not about height. It's about how much of your body leaves the floor to load the oblique muscles in the side of the waist. Holding the last one up. Moving the top or both legs through scissor. Resting if you need to, or just carrying on with the lift. Now make this bigger if you are stable and it's not giving you hip pain. Otherwise, it's time to rest. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feet together. Come on down. Draw the knees in. Top leg over bottom leg. And stretch. Coming into clam. So if you're not comfortable in clam on this hip, please do clam on your back. Hips are stacked. Rib is lifted. Options. Small range of movement through the top leg. Toes are lifted, knees are down. Bigger range of movement through the top leg. Hardest option, rotate, extend, flex the foot, push away. Come on in and lower down. So if you're doing the leg push, make sure it's pushing away from you, not forward. You don't want it in front of you. Push away. So any of those options are fine. Taking rest when you need to. Taking a different option when you need to. One more. And relax. Good. Take your top leg across again. If you can push your foot to me and get a bit of a longer stretch, give that a go. And then either just leave it there, or if you can take your heel to your bottom, please go there. Extending the bottom leg and bringing the thighs parallel, if possible, if there's no knee pain. Breathing in and breathing out. Release. Good. Ball between the knees. Open door if we can. Squeeze. Now stack the hips and lift the rib. Really important the pelvis doesn't move. So before you start, squeeze your ball. Keep the resistance on the inside of the thighs. Open out at your own pace. Holding the stretch for at least one in-breath, and then making sure you squeeze on the ball to come back slowly. So it's really important that the lower half of your body is switched on. Inner thighs, abs and pelvic floor. Pull everything in the lower half of the body up and squeeze the ball. Mobilizing the top of the body, stabilizing the lower half of the body. Option to take your arm through backstroke, up past the ear, around. Coming with a soft elbow, skimming the thigh. So open door or backstroke. It's a long, slow circle. Nice floppy arm. Elbow stays bent. So last one. Either rolling over or coming down the other end of your mat. On the hip if you can, head near the front of the heart. Either two straight legs or your bottom leg bent underneath you. On your out breath, lift top arm, top leg. Doesn't have to be high. Option to lift two legs and or head and neck. We are breathing out to lift. And breathing in to lower. So the more of the body that leaves the floor, the more challenging that will be. Might just be your arm and your head. Might be just your legs. Gonna lift and hold the next one. Lift and hold. Can we scissor? Either both legs or just the top leg. Making it bigger if we feel okay. Continuing just to lift and lower if you're not good with forward and back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feet together. Come on down, please. Draw your knees in. Take your top leg over and stretch that hip. Well done. Coming into clam, on your side or your back, knees bent halfway in, palms together, option to lift the top leg with the bottom leg on the floor, option to lift the toes up, bigger rotation, still stabilizing the pelvis, option to add a leg extension with a flexed foot as you push away. Now this is all about pelvic stability, so switch on everything that goes through the pelvis. That's the bum, the tummy, the pelvic floor, the inner thigh, everything working. Breathing out on the lift, breathing in on the return. Last one. Coming down, relaxing, top leg over, push the foot to me if you can, get a bit of a straighter leg, knee is still bent. And then taking the heel to the bum if it'll go. Holding the ankle if you can. Bringing your knees together, lengthening away with the bottom leg. Chest is open. release, please. Draw your knees in. And we've got open door. So ball between the knees. Squeeze. Stack the hips. Lift the rib. When you're ready, everything has got a connection through the lower body. So inner thigh, squeeze the ball. Pull up on the pelvic floor, pull the tummy in. Keep the shoulder relaxed and keep the elbows soft. Make sure when you're opening out there, it is at chest height, not up over your head. Let's do this slowly. Continuous slow breath, squeeze the ball. Guys, as and when you're ready, breaststroke. Breaststroke, backstroke, not breaststroke. Definitely backstroke. Elbow soft. Head going with you. Have you forgot about the bottom half of your body? Squeeze the ball. Pull the belly button in. Inner thigh, pelvic floor. We've got one to go. Upper body mobilizing, lower body stabilizing. And relax. Brill. Okay, take that ball away. Come on over onto all fours, please. And then let's have a cat stretch there to release the pelvis. So the pelvis was fixed on all of those exercises. Now it needs to move. So not a great big cat stretch. Focus on your pelvis, please. We're going to plank in a moment. So from here, plank on hands or elbows, on or off the hog. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to the thick side of my hog. You can be on the floor if you wish. Toes are under. Start by just rocking forward and back, unless you know what you can do. Pressing into the hog and lifting the knees, seeing how that feels. And then pressing and holding in a full plank if we can. Straight line from head to heel, so don't drop the head. Pull the tummy in. Try to have the glutes switched on. Squeeze the bottom. Holding 5. Breathing slowly. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dropping the knees. Pulling back, releasing the shoulders. Coming forward again, hands or elbows, hog or mat. I'm going to turn my hog to make it a bit more challenging. When you're ready, toes under, press, hold. Options, give your hog a little sway. Or draw your knee to your elbow. You'll probably get movement through your hog when you do that anyway. 10, 9, rest of you need to, 8, 7, brace the abs, 6, 5, steady breaths, 4, 3, 2, 1, come on down, brilliant, back and stretch. Great job, hold it there. Walk your hands around to the right corner of the mat. So coming off the hog, stretching the shoulder. Coming through centre, over to the left corner. Breathing into the stretch. Coming centre, uncurling. Coming down onto your bottom, let's do full roll back with the band around our feet. If you know you need some support or you don't want to go all the way, then get your ball, cushion or hog behind you. So starting with the band around the feet and bent knees, unless you already know what level you can do this at. Rolling down slowly. And coming back up slowly. So we've come back to our rectus abdominals. The ones that run up the front of the body. Working with straight or bent legs. And a full or half roll. If you're happy to work with your band or your dumbbells in your hand, you can go there. You can add some forward flexion. You can add some rotation. So just find a level that works for you. Just going to tweak this music. I think we're going to run out. So a couple more rounds if you can, please. Last one's going to finish in seated. And then we're going to relax forward. So take your feet wide and come forward. Just breathe into the back of the ribs. Uncurl your spine. And then come on down onto the back and we'll stretch the legs to finish. So head support if you want it, band going around that right foot. Pulling the elbows down, making the leg heavy on the band. Drawing the leg in to find your first point of stretch when you're ready. Relaxing the neck and shoulders. Maybe taking the left leg halfway or all the way out. Pressing the tailbone into the floor. So the leg doesn't have to straighten, but we want the full length of the hamstring to stretch. So that might be pushing your heel to the ceiling, might be pushing your bum into the floor. Use the breaths to help the tension relax. From here, softening the knee, sway or circle your leg. Start off small. Focus is just on hip mobility. But then if everything feels okay, you might want to take it just in the right hand. Or you might want to move it from right to left. You might want to lift your bum. If you find a particularly tight spot, just stay there. It might be that you need to go back to your hamstring because that's really tight. Or it might be on the inner or outer thigh. But you should be feeling constant mild tension in the muscle that you're trying to stretch. Come on back to center and change. Sliding the bottom leg away, drawing the top leg towards you, pushing the tailbone down, pushing the heel to the ceiling. Right leg can be halfway or all the way out. Take a breath in As you breathe out, draw that leg closer. Softening the back of the knee, swaying or circling. 2 hands for stability, 1 hand for better flexibility. Holding or moving slowly. Breathing gently as we go. Coming back to centre, slipping the foot out of that band. Coming onto all fours. Finishing with a cat stretch or a downward dog. So cat stretch or downward dog. I'm going to come into downward dog and give my feet a bit of a pedal. You can be in either of those positions. Start to think about coming up from the floor by walking in slowly. Push your weight into your feet. Put your hands on your thighs and bend your knees as you roll up slowly. Then coming to standing, please. Let me just tip my camera. Arms up above the head, we stretch in. Push to the ceiling. Breathe out, come across. And breathe in. And breathe out. Coming to centre, dropping the arms. Big shoulder roll. Hopefully everything's nice and loose. Rotation of the spine and the hips. And we are done. Thank you very much indeed. Come on in.